Coming up on Ignite News, City Council rejects landlord licensing fees.
The landlords clearly said, we understand your problem, but this is not the solution.
A Hamilton food truck picks up speed with its drive to do good.
And so it was about creating a business that we felt had no harm.
And we get a sneak peek at what's to come this year at Mohawk.
This time of year is obviously the most important time of year for the McIntyre Performing Arts Center. We have a diverse range of offerings this year for the first time in more than a few years.
All this and more coming up on Ignite News.
Good afternoon and welcome to Ignite News for Thursday, September 26. I'm Ayan Mahmoud.
And I'm Adam Steinberg. Here's what's making news. A convicted member of the Toronto 18 was killed while fighting in Syria. 20-year-old Ali Deary died in a battle against government forces. Deary left Canada for Syria after being released from prison in 2011. Deary was sentenced to 7 years in prison for his role in the plot to attack Canadian institutions and kill the Prime Minister in 2006.
A batch of fresh bamboo grown at McMaster University is getting 2 paws up from the pandas at the Toronto Zoo. McMaster University has been growing bamboo in its campus greenhouse for almost 10 years as part of the biology program. Until now, excess bamboo has always ended up in the compost. Bamboo accounts for 90% of the giant panda's diet. McMaster anticipates they'll be donating another batch of bamboo as early as February 2014.
A former track supervisor has accused CN Rail of fraud concerning a multi-million-dollar track expansion project resulting in an audit led by GO Transit. The project under question revolved around adding a third rail to the Lakeshore West line between 2005 and 2008. Scott Holmes, the former employee, spoke to the APTN about having evidence of wrongdoing that he was surrendering to the Ontario Provincial Police. A spokesperson for CN Rail has denied the allegations and has said that they will cooperate with any audit that proceeds.
A search is underway for a missing airplane north in Ontario. Officials say the rescue center at CFB Trenton picked up an emergency beacon from a private aircraft yesterday afternoon. The single-engine airplane left Sault Ste. Marie early in the day with just a pilot on board. The plane was last seen emitting a signal late yesterday afternoon near Hudson Bay.
A Pakistani government spokesperson says the death toll from the country's horrific earthquake has risen to 348. Another 552 people have been injured. The massive 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit southwestern Pakistan on Tuesday. Rescuers have struggled to reach hard-hit areas in what is the country's largest and most impoverished region.
Longtime Loblaws pitchman Dave Nichol has died at the age of 73. Nichol is credited for building Loblaws President Choice and No Name brands into one of Canada's top labels. Nichol also appeared in several TV commercials for the grocery chain.
An Ancaster woman who has scleroderma, a rare disease that tightens the skin, will be bringing the Scleroderma Canada Congress to Hamilton for the first time. Maureen Suave was the first diagnosed with the disease back in 2002 after skin on her face was tightened to the point where her face was unrecognizable. Suave says there's no support for patients with this disease in Hamilton and is the main reason why she is bringing the conference to Hamilton for the first time.
Hamilton City Council rejected a proposed landlord licensing fee. Ignite News reporter Neil Reyes has the story.
At an officer, say, doing 5 inspections.
Hamilton's planning committee holds back on a proposed citywide licensing fee for rental housing. The city planned on imposing a $100 fee per unit in places renting 6 units or less in 2017 and employing new staff to handle processing. Landlords spoke out in a lengthy meeting on Tuesday, saying that fees are not the way to go. Ward 8 Councillor Terry Whitehead is for licensing, but ultimately wants to help those in need.
I think what happened here today is the landlords clearly said, we understand your problem, but this is not the solution. We want to work with you towards a better solution that involves us, because we don't like bad landlords either. And if they're putting their hand out and said they're prepared to work with me in partnership, then who am I to turn my back on that?
The original intent of the bylaw was to help keep student housing safe, but some councillors and landlords feel that beefing up the city's current proactive enforcement regime would be better than licensing.
Less expensive, less problematic in terms of all of the legal issues that could pop up out of a licensing protocol. And we've already demonstrated that if we do that proactive enforcement, we have tremendous results from it.
Councillors agreed that assembling a committee would be the best way to go at this point in time. Renee Wetzler, a staff member of Hamilton's Social Planning and Research Council, says the impact of citywide licensing fees might be more detrimental than expected.
That would only impact negatively on other social services, and again, that's another reason why I was here today, just to make sure that people were aware. It's not just about the bottom line profit margin, it's about the impact on social services as well.
For Ignite News, I'm Neil Reyes.
Hamilton's annual World Film Festival is back in town. Ignite Entertainment reporter Chris Luckett has more on what the 10-day festival has in store for us.
Hammer is known for its film festivals, but that doesn't mean you have to go to Toronto for them. The HEH BMO World Film Festival is back again for its 5th year. 39 movies will be shown this year, 10 more than last year. Selections include Joss Whedon's adaptation of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, Oscar hopeful Fruitvale Station, and the Matthew McConaughey mystery Mud. AGH programming manager and festival organizer Annette Paymont says such releases have drawn bigger crowds every year.
What I think the numbers are telling us is that people love film, and people love not just watching great film, but they love going out and having the experience of watching great film.
In addition to returning venues, the Starlight Drive-In is participating for the very first time, and Paymont couldn't be more thrilled.
We were excited about having a drive-in theater experience at Starlight. We were very happy that they came on board and they were very interested in being part of the festival.
One theater that won't be taking part this year is the historic Westdale Theater, which isn't equipped to digitally project the films.
We've gone from using 35mm film in the industry to digital hard drive, which is called a DCP.
The nearly 40 films of the festival are showing at 8 venues around the Hamilton area, including Jackson Square, Ancaster Silver City, and here at the Burlington Performing Arts Centre. With so many choices, there's a movie for everyone. For Ignite News, I'm Chris Luckett. That's a wrap.
Toronto police seized 2 kilograms of heroin and more than $500,000 in cash during a search of 8 homes today. 11 people faced drug-related charges. The search was a part of an ongoing investigation into an international trafficking ring that started with a seizure of more than a dozen kilograms of heroin at Pearson Airport in 2010. Police have also seized 160 kilograms of epidurin used to make crystal meth, 24 kilograms of heroin, 20 kilograms of ecstasy, 4 kilos of crystal meth, a kilo of cocaine, and nearly a kilo of opium.
A food truck that causes absolutely no harm to the environment? Well, it seems impossible. Hamilton-based Karma Chameleon is a food truck doing just that. Ignite News reporter Alicia Gallant has more.
Karma Chameleon is not only green in color. The Hamilton food truck was created by Cindy and Chase Thompson with a mission to serve delicious animal-free food without leaving a carbon footprint. Chase is a graduate of the Environment Technician program at Mohawk and explains how that education helped him execute his business.
Definitely lent some insight into sustainability as far as factory farming goes and food production goes.
All of Karma Chameleon's food is vegan, and their utensils and materials are all compostable. In order to reduce their footprint, they purchase carbon offsets to give back to the environment. Cindy has been a vegetarian for 25 years. She explains why it was so important for her and her husband to create a green truck.
He's very much into the environment and being environmentally conscious, and so am I. And so it was about creating a business that we felt had no harm, that was completely harm-free, no eco-footprint, and being compassionate to our planet and to animals and to people.
Customers have responded very positively to Karma Chameleon, and its ever-changing menu has been enjoyed by meat eaters and vegetarians or vegans alike.
I'm a vegetarian recently, and I just think it's a really great, healthy choice.
I am a meat eater. This is the first real vegetarian sandwich I've ever had. If I didn't know better, I would swear it was just real Philly cheesesteak made with real meat. It's absolutely wonderful.
After just 3 months of business, Karma Chameleon has secured itself a spot on an upcoming episode of Eat Street, a popular television program showcasing interesting food trucks. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Alicia Gallant.
Toronto police are urging pet owners to be careful in city parks after discarded hot dogs were found mixed with an unknown substance. An investigation into the substance is currently underway to determine if they were left as an intentional poisoning. The hot dogs were found on Monday in Oakvale Green Community Gardens in Toronto's East End. In 2004, 16 dogs were poisoned in a Toronto park after they ate hot dogs laced with insecticide. For now, police are asking owners to keep their eyes peeled for any more instances and to report any discovery of similar substances.
Native author Basil Johnson will be donating his papers to the archives at McMaster University. The Anishinaabe author will be donating a total of 31 boxes filled with his work and 200 photos of his life on the Cape Crocker Reserve. The papers also include letters, manuscripts, and teaching plans from when he taught in Toronto in the 1960s. Johnson said that he thinks McMaster is a nice outlet for his papers.
Ontario's health minister says it's time for Canadians to talk about the legalization of assisted suicide. Representative says that the topic will likely come up when federal, provincial, and territorial health ministries meet up next week. The subject resurfaced after a doctor who helped Toronto through the 2003 SARS crisis made a videotape pleading Canadians to allow people to die with dignity. The emotional video was shot 8 days before the doctor died from a brain tumor.
Mohawk College unveiled its latest addition to the campus, the first multi-sensory lab in an Ontario college. Ignite News reporter Ayan Muhammad tells us the details.
Another renovation is completed as Mohawk College unveiled the new multi-sensory lab to staff and students. This is believed to be the first multi-sensory lab for an Ontario college. The lab is based on the snoozling concept designed to deliver stimulus to several senses. The lab is fully equipped with different equipment to target all senses, ranging from scented pencils to vibrating seats. The multi-sensory lab will allow students in the recreation therapy program to have a hands-on approach to help individuals with intellectual disabilities. Program Director Joanne Berman explains the concept of the multi-sensory lab.
Each piece of equipment is designed for a different purpose. Some for your sense of smell, sense of touch, your hearing. Each one affects a different sensory part of the individual. And when an individual goes in there, they would, with a caregiver or a family member or a therapist, they would determine what that individual's sensory diet is, and then the individual would use those pieces of equipment to benefit them.
The lab is also open to the general public and will be serving as the main snoozling lab in the West Mountain area. According to Broman, the lack of availabilities of multisensory rooms was problematic.
There was a needs assessment done, and it told us that there wasn't access to a multisensory room on the West Mountain. So with that information, we went to our management and asked about the possibility of developing such a room. Got great support from them, and from there we've 2 years later, this is what we've got. So we're very...
Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Ayan Mahmoud. Now let's take a look at what's coming up in sports, weather, and entertainment.
You better enjoy the weather this week, Mohawk, because come next Tuesday, it's gonna get pretty chilly. All this and more coming up on Ignite Weather.
What would you do if you were Phil Kessel? Cody Franson signs a one-year deal with the Maple Leafs, and the New York Yankees miss the postseason for the second time in 19 years. All this and more coming up on your Ignite Sports.
Coming up in entertainment, we've got a preview of all the performances we can look forward to this year at the McIntyre Theatre. All this and more coming up on Ignite Entertainment.
Here's a recap of today's top stories. Hamilton rejects licensing for landlords. A search is on for a missing plane in Northern Ontario. And Toronto panda bears chow down on some Hamilton-grown bamboo. Looks like some sun and warm temperatures are in store for us today. Let's check in with Ivan for our latest weather update.
Thanks, Adam. Windsor will see clear skies this morning with a high of 21. In London, we'll see cloudy skies clearing this afternoon with a high of 22 degrees. Niagara Falls will be mainly sunny with a high of 20, while Toronto will have a high of 19 with sunshine later that day. Lastly, Hamilton will be sunny this afternoon with a high of 19 degrees. Looking ahead at the next 24 hours in Hamilton, this morning will be partly cloudy, clearing this afternoon with a high of 19. Tonight will be clear with a low of 13 degrees. Leading into tomorrow, we'll have lots of sun in the morning, holding out until the evening and a high of 19 degrees. Taking a look into our 5-day forecast, Friday, Hamilton will still see sunshine with a high of 19 degrees and a low of 9. Saturday will bring sunshine as well with a high of 22 and a low of 10. Sunday will have isolated showers with a high of 22 degrees. Monday will also have isolated showers and a low of 13. However, Tuesday will bring sunshine with a high of 19 degrees. That's it for me on weather. Let's head over to Alicia for the scoop on what's happening in entertainment.
Thanks, Ivan. The McIntyre Theatre has been renovated, and organizers are looking forward to a stellar lineup this year. Here's Troy Heath with a look ahead.
Sure. So, can you give us some highlights in terms of what's happening this year?
Yeah, so this time of year is obviously the most important time of year for the McIntyre Performing Arts Center. We have a diverse range of offerings this year for the first time in more than a few years. So, for example, starting in October, we have Bruce Croxon from the Dragon's Den coming in to do a speaking series engagement. We have Michael Burgess coming in to do a concert on October 29th. He'll be performing with Boris Brott and a 39-piece orchestra. They'll be doing show tunes from Les Mis, Phantom, Lion King, and more. We have UFE coming in, which is a bodybuilding competition. They have their Halloween contest, if you will, and it's a huge event. There's worldwide competitors coming in for that piece. We've got the Hamilton Music Awards in mid-November, which is a staple of Mohawk hosting. We have, trying to think who else, we have Clayton Christensen coming in, who is a Harvard professor that is actually coming in to talk about change technology and how it impacts the educational field. So we're really excited. He is a world-class speaker.
Now let's take a look at what's happening on campus and around Hamilton.
Hello Mohawk, this is your community calendar for September 26, 2013. If you're interested in meeting new people, getting involved with your fellow students, and celebrating diversity, come meet us for Club Fest, happening today at 11 a.m. till 1 in the C-Wing Atrium. Walk Smart, a program created by the McCases Group, is our student attendant team that escorts evening patrons of Mohawk College to their cars, bus stops, and surrounding areas of the community. The program is being introduced to people today at 6 p.m. in the McCases Resource Center. Meet the team, learn more about the program, and see how Walk Smart can assist you. And finally, whether you're looking for a corporate team building experience, a group outing, or an opportunity to get involved with your community, this event is for you. The Hamilton Wheelchair Relay Challenge is happening this Saturday, September 28th at Pier 4 Park at 11 a.m. They provide the wheelchairs and friendly competition. You provide the team lots of spirit, energy, and enthusiasm. Register today as a team or participant. That's it for this week on your community calendar.
Fans of David Bowie can head to Toronto for a multimedia exhibit featuring over 300 items drawn from the rock star's lucrative career. The exhibition, titled David Bowie Is, will be stationed at the Art Gallery of Ontario until November 27th. Some of the items featured in the showcase include handwritten lyrics and stage costumes taken from Bowie's personal archives. At the debut of this exhibit in London in March, more than 300,000 fans showed up to the Victoria and Albert Museum. The new season of Glee premieres tonight, and the first couple of episodes will feature footage of Corey Monteith filmed before his untimely death. Viewers will learn how Monteith's character, Finn, has been written off the show by the third episode. The first 2 episodes back will feature music by the Beatles. That's all for Entertainment Mohawk. Let's pass it over to Ken for your sports update.
Thanks, Alicia. Amidst a bunch of controversy, including a training camp holdout, breakout star Cody Franson has finally signed with the Maple Leafs. The Franson and Maple Leafs camps had been at an impasse with Toronto, wanting a 2-year deal, and Franson wanting a 1-year deal. With the 1-year, $2 million deal, Franson now retains his right to stay a restricted free agent and opt for arbitration next summer. The deal appears to be relatively fair, with Franson getting the term he wanted and the Leafs signing him well under market value. Yesterday, Phil Kessel weighed in on Sunday night's preseason fiasco.
Let's see what they could do out there. There's a guy like that, I think they'll be in a lot of trouble.
Following up with regrets for the second slash, Kessel said what many Leaf fans were thinking. At 6'8", 270 pounds, Scott posed a threat that Kessel was not prepared for. After multiple stick-swinging incidents in the preseason, including 2 versus Flyers players Luke Schenn and Nicholas Grossman, Brendan Shanahan decided it was time to discipline Kessel. Shanahan suspended Kessel for the rest of the preseason. Although Kessel will not miss any regular season games, he will now appear on the NHL's repeat offenders list. With the new Mohawk Rec Center, varsity sports has gained a lot more prominence on campus. Teresa Friesen joins us in the newsroom with more information about this week in varsity sports. So what's going on, Teresa?
Sunday, they play at home versus Fleming. The men's and ladies varsity soccer teams face off against Sheridan on Saturday. The cross-country team will be heading to Redeemer for a race on Saturday. And varsity golf goes to the OCAA Paris Grand Tourney this Sunday.
Thanks, Teresa. And that's it for sports. Let's pass it back to Ian and Adam.
The classic Mattel Barbie doll has worn a variety of outfits over the years, and now she's a Mountie. The red-haired Barbie, dressed up in a Royal Canadian Mounted Police uniform, has sold very successfully since its unveiling in spring. Bianca McGregor, head of marketing for the RCMP Heritage Center in Regina, said they took the dolls to see how they would sell, and they were pleased with the response.
It's that time of the year. Hockey season is about to start right now, and there are plenty of teams that think they have a shot at the ultimate prize. We asked you what you thought about the Toronto Maple Leafs and their chances to win the Cup this year.
Who's going to take home the Stanley Cup this year and why?
Oh, I think the Habs. I just think that they're rebuilding, reloading, and I just think the experience from last year will be positive for them, and I think that they'll go all the way.
Detroit Red Wings. Well, I have to say the Leafs, obviously.
Not even a question. That's New Jersey Devils. They're going to win because of Martin Brodeur.
Montreal Canadiens. Why? Best team in the league. They were good last year. Just a good team, I think.
Boston, obviously.
Toronto Maple Leafs. They just got just signed Franzen today. Bolin, Clarkson, with Kessel and the rest of the guys that were there last year. You know, they're gonna take it.
Bruins.
I'm thinking Detroit. They got a good team.
I'd like to see the Leafs take it home.
I hope the Senators do. That's my favorite team, and I think they can. They got good goaltending. Carlson's healthy. They got a good acquisition with Bobby Ryan, so I think they'll do all right.
This is our weekly Pay It Forward segment, featuring someone who has done something nice for someone else.
Hi there, I'm Sam Pemberton, and today we're taking a look at paying it forward at Mohawk. Has anybody ever done a good deed for you or paid it forward to you that you can remember?
Definitely. Just the other day, I went to get a coffee, and the gentleman in front of me bought my coffee for me, and he just did a good deed, and it made my day.
Yes, actually, just recently, yesterday, I was struggling carrying a bunch of bags, and somebody I didn't know came up to me and took them out of my hands and helped me carry them. It made my day a lot better. So.
Yeah, actually, when I was at work one time, there was a guy.
Hi there, I'm Sam Pemberton, and today we're...
This week in Tech Talk, we look at the new iOS 7 for iPhone.
Apple recently updated their operating system to iOS 7, which has caused some serious debate among iPhone users. This new operating system brings the most significant changes to the iOS since it was introduced. The most noticeable change with iOS 7 is the new look given to the interface. Apple has redesigned their icons and added a new color palette.
The look of it, it just looks way simpler to use, even just sliding through things and, pulling down apps.
It's really feminine and it reminds me of an Android. I don't like it. It's too, girly.
And it looks like a child's crayon box.
The look of the new operating system isn't the only thing that has changed. They have made many updates to the tech side as well. Apple added a control center which allows for option controls while on any application. Also, Apple has updated Safari, which allows for full screen viewing and a unified search field, as well as updating Siri and many other functions. although many consumers have had issues dealing with the new operating system.
Apps that I paid for, like Leighton Brothers Mystery Room, it doesn't work anymore. It crashes like before it even opens.
It kills the battery like a lot, so that's the bad side about that.
The internet's a little slow and like some functions just close when it didn't happen before.
It's safe to say that Apple is going to have a hard time with pleasing all of its users. I'm Sasha Dizek with Ignite News.
That's all for your news for Thursday, September 26th. I'm Ayan Mahmoud.
And I'm Adam Steinberg. For more news updates, check our website at ignitenews.ca. Thanks for watching, Mohawk.